It is morning in Los Angeles and it is morning in America. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my morning political thought. All right, I seem to have a good bit of energy. As I was waking up this morning, I was moving a little bit slow, but for some reason, as time went on, more energy started building up. And it's weird because this isn't an energetic subject. So, it's just interesting how fast time flies, for one, and how when this day comes, we always remember. And one thing I know is that there are certain events in history, which obviously today is September 11th. There there are certain events in history where people remember exactly where they were. I remember when Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, which not me. I'm old, but I'm not that old. My mother remembered exactly where she was at and exactly what happened. It's the same thing with what happened to President Kennedy, and also it's the same thing what happened on September the 11th. Most people remember exactly where they were. I was at home that day. I was actually off work that day, or it was before I was about to go to work. And I remember the company I was working for, which this was a while ago. And I looked on the television and I had seen people covering that a plane flew into one of the towers. And it was strange because I'm like, wait, what? And then as everything transpired, it's like, okay, the Pentagon was attacked and the White House was another alleged target, but it didn't happen. And just all of these things that I was watching unfold over the news. And once the attacks happened, because the plane went down in Pennsylvania, the Pentagon was attacked, of course, the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers. When all of that happened, everything changed. And if you remember where you were, especially if you're an American, because I know people who listen to my podcast, some people aren't in the United States. But I'm pretty sure even if you're not in the United States, you may remember where you were. As for Americans, things were different after that happened. And we didn't know as a country what would be next. The only thing we knew as a country was that we had to get through it. And we did. And there were some people who kind of wrote us off because obviously it affected the stock market, it affected jobs, it affected so many things in the economy when all of this happened, which part of it was due to the damage that had happened in New York. The other part was fear of the unknown, because no one knew, okay, well, if this happened, what could happen next? And we're here in 2020, and I feel like we're sort of there again in a way where this damage has happened, but it's more, which the economy has been damaged, obviously, even though it's rebounding. But there's been some fear, or there was, as more information comes out every day. I believe Americans are becoming less fearful, but regardless of the fear, I still feel the same attitude applies, where we're not fully sure what will come next, but we're sure we need to get through this. And just like America made it through 9/11, America will make it through the current situation in 2020. Americans, or a lot of Americans, not all Americans, because certain generations have been, I guess you could say, like Candace Owens said, infantilized. And I just say accommodated more than others. But most Americans are scrappy people. I believe one way to get something done is to tell an American they can't do it. Tell America it can't do it. You can't do that. You can't bring back your economy better than ever. America's like, I can't? Okay, I'll show you. You can't cure diseases. And even though I feel, and I'll still stick to this, even though I feel when it comes to technology and medicine and things we're 100 to 200 years behind, when we're backed into a corner and we're forced to confront something, America's like, okay, I'll show you. That's the attitude that I am looking and hoping for more of America to embody today. I remember where I was at. I remember how the first responders went in, because I watched that on TV as well after the towers fell. And there was just all of this carnage and chaos and sadness and everything. I remember that all. I remember people still, in the midst of all of that, standing strong and saying that we will make it through this. And I remember people stepping up, even people who it wasn't always in their character to step up on the front line and say, I'm here to help, I'm ready to help. I want that to be the case, because then after that happened, America was more united during that crisis. This crisis, America has been divided, which, because of the division, it makes me wonder, has this truly been a crisis in 2020? Because over history, during a real crisis, usually a country is united. A country will usually say, you know what, we'll put our differences aside for now and resolve this issue. And then after it's resolved, we can get back to fighting with each other. That's usually what happens when a major crisis like 9/11 comes along. And when I think of 9/11, when I remember 9/11, and when I'm remembering it today, I would rather remember the unity, where everyone was just like, okay, you know what? Let's put all the other stuff aside. Let's pull together. Let's bring back some normalcy to the United States of America. Let's build it back up. Let's make sure that we're helping each other out. And I'm not saying that people haven't contributed in that way. I'm saying that it wasn't as politicized at the time when it happened versus right now when things are happening in 2020 as they have been politicized. I wish, and my hope is that people will pull together, and for those who are old enough to remember where they were at on 9/11 and remember how the country put its differences aside internally to pull together to lift the country as a whole up. I hope those people will start to remember that. Because if the republic falls, what's left? There isn't anything left after the republic falls. So I hope that, as everyone remembers, they don't remember the sadness because a lot of lives were lost. Thousands upon thousands of lives were lost. I would rather them remember the unity and that America can make it through difficult times. And that's really all I have for my morning political thought. That's it. That's what I was thinking of today. And I know the day will go on where they have ceremonies and programs and things like that, remembering the people who have fallen during 9/11, as they should. I just want people to remember the unity, too. And that things weren't so politicized at the time because most Americans realized that together we could bring the country back to normal. And we did until 2020, obviously. So, yeah, that's all I have for my political thought this morning. I'm glad that everyone has been listening to the podcast and watching the videos and liking and sharing and subscribing. It means a lot. ThePurpleElephantShow.com for the main podcasting platform. The Purple Elephant Show on Parler, Instagram, Facebook.com/The Purple Elephant Show, @RealTPES on Twitter or Twitter. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button followed by the notification bell. You will know when I upload new videos, and on Daily Motion, the subscribe button. Thank you again for your support. I sincerely mean it. And I hope that everyone will unite and help America get back to normal. Not the new normal, because I don't want a new normal. I want normal. And I'm sure many other Americans do too. And we can do it if we unite. Thank you again. Until next time, be blessed.